Welcome again to another lecture in language planning and policies in education. We are on the second aspect in terms of types of language planning, and today it's corpus planning. Corpus planning comes after having covered the status planning. Corpus planning, by definition, refers to the prescriptive intervention in the forms of language. What is very central here is the term prescriptive. You prescribe. You state in advance. You present how to do things in advance so that later on everybody simply follows what you have already stated. It is about engineering changes in the language structure, aimed at serving different functions. Corpus planning is done by linguistic experts, or it is done by linguists, and it includes three types of corpus planning. The three types of corpus planning are graphization, standardization, and modernization. These are the three types of corpus planning. Let us proceed in our discussion by looking at each one of these three. The first one is graphization here. Graphization refers to the development, selection, and modification of scripts or orthography conventions. It's about writing down. The use of writing in a speech community can have lasting socio-cultural effects. For example, is a transmission intergenerational? There must be some kind of easy transmission, transmitting ideas very easily across the generations. That is intergenerational. And this is about communicating with a larger number of people. Larger numbers. A standard of comparing varieties of spoken languages. This is what is entailed by graphization. Now, let's come to standardization. Standardization refers to a process by which one variety of language takes precedence over other social and regional dialects of the language. It is considered as supradialectal and the best form of language. Such a choice confers a privilege upon those whose dialect is chosen. That is, when we are talking about standardization, we are talking about uplifting the status of all elements of a language to a level that people have to see as being acceptable and of better position in terms of standards. That is what we refer to as standardization. Now, the dialect chosen under standardization, or the dialect that is spoken or written, is worked on so that it conforms to the chosen norm or standard. And this is done by the experts. A novice cannot be allowed to operate under the confines of standardization. Standardization, therefore, calls for the experts, linguistic experts, who have the capacity to handle language. The standard chosen as the norm is that generally spoken or used by the most powerful. That means the norm now becomes a form that is actually specially chosen so that it represents the most powerful people who make decisions. And this would include the social groups. And such a norm is imposed on the less powerful. That is, it is imposed on the less powerful group as a norm that they should emulate. So it's very, very important that people have to understand what really goes into standardization and what this implies. This norm on which standardization rests reinforces the dominance of the powerful social group. This also makes the standard norm become necessary for socioeconomic development because it is the one that is followed, the one that is given to students in schools so that they grow with it. And whatever they say must be meeting the standards as they have been prescribed through standardization. It is important to take note that in practice, standardization entails increasing the uniformity of the norm as well as its codification. These two aspects are very, very important. Standardization entails increasing the uniformity of the norm so that the way people have to speak should be the same. It must be uniform for ease of communication. And at the same time, the way people have to write, that is its codification, should also be the same to ease and enhance communication. This is very, very important. Now, the other one is modernization.